Yeah, I always say that my hope with every record is it just becomes a soundtrack for moments, and I think that the good part, if there's a lot of bad parts to that with what's happening now, but to your points earlier, but I do think one thing I hope for is that it can be a bright memory, it can be something that people go, that's when those songs came out, and I remember that season being hard, but those songs were this really fun respite, they were a chance for me to dance around the room and forget what was going on. But to put a little bit of a timestamp on it, so that's my hope. And I think, it was funny because I talked to my management team early on when we sort of saw the things converging. And I was like, this is either going to be like the best thing in the world or the worst thing. And there was a moment we actually tried to even move it up because I was like, should we either try to barely miss it and it landed, like you said, about 2 or 3 weeks in. I think the good thing that I found, it was sort of a little bit of a gamble that I think has paid off, is that people really are spending a lot of time listening right now. I think, that you really have people's attention. And I think, for the negatives that were involved, some of the fun marketing part of it was knowing like people are really paying attention right now. Even though the numbers are down on streaming and stuff, mainly because what they're finding is one, people aren't in their cars anymore, which is most people take in music that way, but also because like numerous accounts in a family have now been consolidated to one because everybody's listening on the one stereo or they're listening, and so it's not that people are listening to music less, it's just that less accounts are being used to listen to music really, And so that scared me, but I think, I've been really encouraged by the response and I've seen that it's been really good. And again, you said it well. That was something I didn't think a lot about, honestly, but it is a pretty upbeat collection of songs, and I think the timing of that was just kind of randomly really great for this sort of hard season. And so I hope that, people have kind of had a chance to, escape and smile and dance around and have fun to those kind of songs in the midst of such a weird season of life,
Yeah, and I've heard a definition of art that it's meant to reflect reality but also transcend it, and I think, you look at your entire discography up until this point, and there's a lot of reflecting and transcending happening in terms of the human experience, and I'd say the transcendence is probably what really strikes a chord on this new project because most people are having a hard time grabbing onto hope. They're having a hard time feeling joyful and just a sense of, well, life is worth living. And I can certainly say on behalf of our patrons and our listeners, thank you for allowing your gift to be brought into the world time and time again. It is the very thing that the world needs most right now, beauty, lest it sink into despair.